Hello folks, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new here. I'm in beautiful Italy near Trieste at the moment, and the topic of today's video is something that's been very present in my heart over the last few days that I've been very much digesting, and that is the sad part about traveling with friends. So before I get into the main topic of the video, I want to set the scene and give you a bit of a background in terms of where I'm at, what I've been doing, and where this all came from. So over the last 3 months, I've been living in my van full-time, traveling through Europe. In the previous 10 years, I've been living in London and went to university there, started a business, worked in corporate, grew my business, and decided with my best friend that we're going to purchase a van each and do it up into a camper over a year. Actually took a little longer. I'll create some content around that as well. But for the topic of this video, this is what happened. We had a plan to head out through Europe, through the Balkans, head to a festival in Hungary, and then head over to Turkey, and then stay there for a little bit, and then travel around the coast back all the way to Portugal. Now, the reason I tell you this story is because it's extremely relevant to the whole topic, and that was the idea that I had in my mind. And that was what was getting me through the van build, and what I've been extremely excited about embarking on, going to Turkey. And over the last few months, I've been traveling through the Balkans with my friends. Sometimes we're together, sometimes we do our own separate thing. Went to Croatia, Montenegro, a little bit of Albania, and my soul felt something. And what that feeling was the realization that I am craving to be in Portugal. And for those that don't know, I have been to Portugal a couple of times in a recent year, and I've been really drawn to Portugal. It's a place that I want to move to in the future, that I want to settle in potentially, I want to explore more. And I was really happy with the idea of going to Turkey first and then doing that thing and doing Portugal then. But the reality is, as I was traveling through the Balkans, I started to miss a sense of community that I feel like is present in Portugal that wasn't present in the Balkans. And my soul started to yearn to be in Portugal, to explore Portugal. And that was the first thing that got me thinking about changing the plan a little bit. The other part is that I haven't seen my parents for 3 months now. I am extremely close with my parents, for those that don't know. And if I wasn't going to Portugal now instead of going to Turkey, I wouldn't see them for another 12 months. And the reason for that is because they are actually going to be in Portugal from July. And if I do end up going to Portugal, I'm actually going to be able to spend some time with them. Now, I already had planned a festival in Portugal, so I am going to go to Portugal regardless. But that time wouldn't be the same time I get to spend if I'm actually with them properly. So reason number 2 is that I need to spend some time with my parents, whom I really miss. And going to Turkey would just mean that I would be away from them for a very long time. Now, the third thing that got me really thinking about or yearning for Portugal is that currently where I'm at in my life is I'm transitioning away from living in London in a city, having that stability, having those routines, to having freedom living in a van. But I also am running a business. And it is a little difficult when you're traveling around constantly and not having a solid space every single night, every single day, to have your solid routines and to run a business. It's amazing and you can totally make it work, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's always at the back of your mind, the stress in terms of like, am I gonna get moved on from this place? What if I can't do my calls that I have scheduled, etc., etc.? And it's not really something that I need right now, because I need to focus on the business to outsource, or rather offload some of the work that I'm currently doing and be able to have a slightly more free lifestyle in the future. So for me, it's a no-brainer that if I need that, then where can I have it? Now, I could go back to London, of course, and live that lifestyle, but that is not what I want to do. So the second option, which is the better option and the best option for me, is that I can go to Portugal and start living that life now. Now, my intention is still to live in a van, to still have that sort of free lifestyle, roaming around, exploring, but to have a bit more stability by renting a piece of land, or having the van somewhere where I can actually focus on doing work, doing my routines through most of the week, and then for the remaining time I can actually go around and be free, explore, etc. So now that I've set the scene, where is the main topic of the video coming from? Well, the main topic of the video is that this choice wasn't easy. It was actually very difficult for me to make. I really wanted to go to Turkey. It's been on my mind for a very long time. And above all, I've been traveling with my two of the best people in my life that I'm extremely close with. And to make a conscious decision of separating from that and pursuing something else, even though I know logically it makes a lot of sense, but in my emotional space, it feels very heavy and very sad, because I'm stepping away from something that I've been extremely enjoying and really creating a very deep connection with my friends, and deciding that I'm walking away from that. Now, don't get me wrong, they totally understand, and I also logically understand that that is the best option for me right now. I'm going to go and have some personal time, personal growth, and at the same time I'm going to pursue something that I want to pursue that's deep in my soul. But I am walking away from their presence for a little bit, and it feels very sad. I've processed this a little bit over the last few days, and it's a lot easier today than it was the last 2 days. But regardless, it's quite difficult to deal with. And ultimately, that is the sad part about traveling with friends. It's amazing in a lot of cases, a lot of times you have the highest of highs, and you get to explore so many beautiful things, you get to explore your relationships. But sometimes time comes when you must separate and do your own thing, and it hurts. So I always want people to take away something from my videos, and not just for them to enjoy the story itself. So I suppose the main takeaways that I would say are: one, that not all choices that are right for you are always going to feel 100% great. You might know 100% that logically it makes a lot of sense for you to make a certain move, but on an emotional level, it might still hurt a little bit because you're walking away from certain things, certain places, certain people, and that's okay. And the second thing is the temporary nature of life. And to some people, it might sound like a pessimistic or negative thing to say, but it isn't necessarily that. If you look at it from a positive lens, when you're going through something that's extremely tough, the temporary nature of life is that this thing will pass. You will feel better at some point. That negative situation will go. Now, if you flip it on the other side, also everything in terms of good things that are happening to you will also pass. It is temporary, it isn't going to last forever. And the beauty about realizing that is that you can fully immerse yourself in the moment and be extremely appreciative and grateful for what you are going through, the beauty that you have in your life. And it's so important to be in that position, because honestly, moments just fleet away. And especially when you're on this travel journey, whether it's in a van or just traveling around backpacking, meeting amazing people, doing amazing things, believe me, time flies extremely quickly. And on one side, it's great because you get extreme amounts of beauty packed into such a short period of time, but at the same time, you turn around and 3 months have gone by, click, and that's it. It's gone. It's there, it's in your soul, but the moment has passed. And if you're not appreciative of that thing, you are missing out on so much. So I suppose I'm going to end the video on this note, and I want to say that if you are currently going through a tough time, I know that you have the strength within you to get through it, and I hope that you realize that and find the light at the end of the tunnel, because that tough period will pass. And if you are going through an amazing period in your life right now, I hope that you realize how amazing it is and are extremely appreciative, grateful, and present in that moment, because you are going through something amazing. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you could leave a comment below about your experiences, your lessons from traveling with friends, I would be extremely appreciative. And if you could subscribe, I would also be super grateful. And for the time being, peace and love, and I'll see you in the next video.